All right. Oh, sorry. I'm already 30 seconds in. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It is Morning Matters, October 23rd, 2025 at 6:30 on the button. We are starting. I started a little bit early, but there was 6:30 on the button according to Hoyle's clock, right? And said you said the last 2 days I started late, so I said today we're gonna start early or at least on time, and here we are. And so before I go into a little opening monologue, what tends to happen at the beginning of my lives, ooh, I guess it's getting closer. I guess maybe if I move the TV even more to this way, trying to get it so I can look at TikTok and YouTube at the same time without being like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Right? I guess what I could do is move this camera over a little bit for TikTok. What if I do? What if I do it like that? It's actually a little bit better. All right, we're learning. We're learning every morning. We get a little bit better, right? Every day. Let's just be better than yesterday. And there we go. I'm right in front of my sunrise there. That's cool. We got the sunrise. So, what I figured I'd do today for Morning Matters is I'm going to dive into the goals right away because it seems like my live people and the fans and the people who jump on the on usually get here right around 7 or 6:30 or 6:50. So what I'm going to do is instead of them having to hear my goals, the same goals every single day, I am going to instead. Wonder why my TikTok it's let's see. We'll try. Um so what I'm going to do is I'm going to dive into the goals right in the beginning. So that way they don't have to hear my goals the same goals all the time because that's what they listen to. And they don't have to hear it at the end. We'll do it right in the beginning. So, as far as goals go, the reason I wake up and do this is just to remind myself as to why I am going through the day. The goals are to give my day purpose, to be proactive as opposed to reactive. It's supposed to help me get through the doldrums of the mechanics of getting through like the things I got to do in order to get to my goals. So that's why we have goals. They're reminders. They're the end point. The reason why you go through practice is because my coaches used to say the game is the reward, right? The practice is what you pay, the weightlifting and the practice and everything, so you can have the reward of being in the game. So, and then also obviously winning a championship or winning a goal, winning, those are the driving forces. But what we understand is those driving forces, they are things that we make matter. That's why we call it Morning Matters, right? Again, I am Matt of Morning Matters. And the reason we give those things meaning, right? To some people outside of the game, like we can make whatever we want matter. Actually, let me not dive. I'm going to go on a tangent, but I'll talk about making us know for it. But the point being is that's why you have goals. You make goals to make things matter to you because that's what life's about. Life's about the journey, right? It's about enjoying the journey and giving the reason. And doesn't mean when I say enjoy the journey, it doesn't mean every minute is enjoyable. It means that the work, the deposits that you put into your life, when you get to take those withdrawals, the withdrawals are a lot better than the deposits. If you just make a couple of deposits, doesn't really gain any interest. But if you put time and dedication and you make a lot of deposits into the bank of your goals, when you actually get to do the withdrawal, you get out a lot more than you put in. All right. You spend time every day with your kids, spending a little extra time. It might be hard, might be like, oh my gosh, they're asking questions that I don't care about, and obviously I'm not saying that that's a toil, being with your kids, but if you're watching them like do math homework or something, that time that you put in, the time of getting up and taking care of the baby while it's crying and whatnot, right? All that time makes the success is worth it, right? Even more so than the energy you put in. When your health is great, and you feel great, then that being healthy is more than the disciplines that you had to do to get to that point. So you financially, you do the right things daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. The rewards are much greater than what you put in. So that's the goal. If we understand that concept, then we have the goals to get us through making the deposits, right? So as far as goals, I always say the same thing every single morning. In order to have a goal, this is weird. Keeps telling me I got this and that to do. And for TikTok, I'm not getting. Oh, I always see somebody in there. All right, cool. So yeah, there's nothing wrong with my charger. I don't know why it keeps telling me there's a charger issue. So the point being is the goal, the overall goal. I'm gonna fix that camera a little bit. There we go. In order for something to be a goal, it has to be three things. Number one, it has to be measurable, right? It has to, in order for a goal to be a goal, right? We use words like goals and we don't really know what we mean. It's really important when you say things, when you use words, that the words are agreed to by all parties, right? A word only has a meaning. It only matters if everyone agrees to the meaning of that word. I say this all the time. If I call this an apple and you call this a mouse, and I'm like, oh, go move your apple around, and you're like, what are you talking about? My computer? What are you talking about? Right? We can't communicate, right? So it's important that when we're dealing with each other, when we're having communications with each other, that we agree upon the words that are being said. And this is really important in order to have excellent communication. So what I mean by a goal is three things. Number one, it's measurable. Meaning, when you say something, saying like, I want to make a lot of money, I want to lose weight, I want to be happy. These are not goals. They're wishes, they're desires, but they are not goals in the way that I use it, and because they're not measurable. Right? A goal is something you either hit or you don't hit. Right? So, and a lot of people are afraid that they don't want to set real goals because then they have a chance of failure, and we have a fear of failure. We beat that into each other, but we understand when we talk to kids and whatnot, we say things like, oh, that's why. I was wondering. That makes a lot more sense now for TikTok. When we talk to kids, we tell them all the time, oh, failure is the halfway point. Get up and do it again. Like, we always say these things to kids, but then when we see people and when we do it for ourselves, we're like, oh, that's, we failed. We're afraid of it again because it gets beaten into us when schooling and whatnot. You don't be wrong. Don't fail. You got an F, even in like movies, it's like a big F and a red circle around it. Right. But, failing is the halfway point to success. It's how you learn. So when you set these goals, set strong goals, set big goals. And if you fail at them, now you can look and you can say, why did I fail? Right. But if it's like, my goal is to be happy, well, you can be happy any time. If my goal is to make a lot of money, what's a lot? You could call $2 a lot. If I give my 5-year-old nephew $2, they're like, wow, it's a lot of money. Right. So what does that mean? I want to lose weight. Well, I lost a pound yesterday. Is that's it? Is that good? So that's the point. So it has to be measurable. So I want to make $100,000 this year. I want to lose 25 pounds. Those are specific goals, right? So they have to be measurable. Second thing is for a goal is it has to have a timetable. It has to have a time that it ends. It can't go on forever, right? Because then you go, I want to make $1 million. When? You know, just $1 million. That's it. Whenever I do it, right? So you can then always be on this journey forever and ever and ever, and you'll never get to learn. You'll never get to say you failed. Again, this is why people don't set timetables on their goals, because they can just say they're still working on it, right? I want to, so when you have someone who says, I want to lose 25 pounds by my wedding, so I can fit in my dress, then they are that person's a lot more driven to hitting the goal than someone who's like, I'm going to lose 25 pounds, right? So you have to have a timetable, whether it's a month, 3 months, 5 months, a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever, there has to be a timetable, right? So then you can make your plan. And then the third thing, in order for it to be a goal, is it has to be written down. All right. So that's important. If you're on TikTok, you see my goals right below me or written down. You guys really can't read them, can you? Well, it's okay. I'm going to read them for you in a little bit. So TikTok is weird with this stuff where I can't really make things easier to see. Can I? Maybe. Ooh, a little bigger. I wish I could like zoom in on stuff, but I really can't. Maybe I can move. Oh, you know what? I could do it like this. Oh, all right. There, you can at least see the goals. So by the way, this is Philosophy Man 76. We're on live on stereo. We're live on YouTube, and we are live on TikTok right now. So I do this every morning, 6:30 to 7. It's just waking up in the right way, putting your goals. Now, I talk about my goals. That's why I do this. It's to give me a daily reminder of the things that I want to see in my life, starting at age 49 when I turn 50. But you should have your own. That's the purpose. Wake up this morning, join me and sit and spend some time, focus on your own goals, right? So let me bring up my goals. Let's go through them, and then we'll talk about some other stuff that I usually talk about before people get here for the live. Let me pull that up. All right. So these are things that I want to accomplish by the time I turn 50. 50 is 11 months away. All right. So September 13th, 11 months, a little short, 10 months and 20 something days. So what I will accomplish by the time I turn 50, earn $160,000 total, which earns me after taxes $112,347,000, $112,347,000. Yeah. What am I doing with that money? What will that money do? Well, number one, it will decrease my bad debt by $25,000. Let's pay off a bunch of bad debt, credit cards and stuff that I owe. Buy $10,000 of Tesla stock. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I'm going to try not to go on a tangent and save $7,000. The reason I have $7,000 right now, $3,500 is basically my monthly expenses. So at least I'll have 2 months of expenses. So if I lose my job or something, I can have 2 months of expenses saved. And once I get to 50 and more, obviously, if I also have stock, if disaster happened, I wouldn't want to sell my stock or do other things or use my credit cards, but you get it. You get the point. Raise the credit score by 150 points is another goal. So, you know what? I'm going to change that right now live. I'm going to make it an actual number because that raise it to 150 points has been a moving target for me. So I'm just going to say raise credit score to 700 or higher. So that's what we're going to do. That's going to be the new goal. All right. Health. Get my weight down under 250 pounds. I am 300 even as of this morning. Average weekly blood sugar under 150. I haven't taken my blood sugar this morning. I should do that. Complete a half marathon. I have not been doing any running. I've just been doing walking right now. Bench press 315 and squat 225 for 10. So I want to do 315 one more time in my life and squat 225 for 10. So my health goals, the gym, like basically in order to do the bench and the squats every morning, I do squats and air squats and push-ups. And then I go to the gym or go outside and walk and whatnot. So my half marathon training, I'm holding off on. I have like a 12-week program that I'm going to do, but with my mother's knee operation, and I'm taking care of her that she just had last week, and the new job that's taken up a lot of my life. I'm holding off on training for the half marathon. I just need 12 weeks to do that, so I'm going to hold off for that until the springtime. So those are the goals. That's what I'm working on. So let me talk about some other stuff that's more exciting to you. Now, hopefully, again, the purpose of me writing my goals. Hey, good morning, Renee. The purpose, I got to find a way to set this up so it always is the same all the time. There we go. Now we got Renee up here of sharing my goals. So what I did just for you, Renee, and their other audience, I decided to get my goals out of the way first and not babble in the beginning of the show because you guys like the babble part. And so that's out of the way. So the repetitive part where I go over my goals, you guys don't have to listen to every morning when you guys jump on. See, I'm always thinking about my audience and what's great for them. So, and the birds haven't come out yet either, so you guys could be here for the birds. Yeah. So now talking about the couple of things that are going on that went on in my life. So I have one more day till my first paycheck. Excited for that. With this job, and so I could pay some bills. The collectors are calling. I'm like, okay, Friday. I'll pay you all on Friday. Leave me alone. Good morning, Maya Geo. So what was exciting yesterday? What was the good and the bad? So the good. Well, we start off with the positive. So it's kind of weird. Like it's almost like. Guys, guys will definitely understand this more than the ladies will. But I've always found that women are more attracted to me when I'm in a relationship. As soon as I get in a relationship, all these women come out of the woodwork. When I'm single, no one wants to chit chat with me, right? Well, it seems to be the same thing with looking for work, right? So for like 2 months I was literally sending resumes out every day, maybe I would say at least 30, applying to like 30 to 40 jobs every day, like when I was looking for work for about 2 months straight, and nothing. The only emails I would get back were like rejection emails, or and most of the time I didn't even get that back. I was just sending emails out. So I was like, all right, I got to change my approach, and I had AI go over my resume and change it up, and I applied a couple places a couple times for different roles, and roles that I'm like yeah, even more. Yes, I'll agree with that, Renee. That was kind of the same for me as well. But the idea is, no matter, like, nobody got back to me. Even roles where I was like perfect for me, like I have the experience like this. I'm like, why aren't these people calling me back? Like, do they even want someone to fill this role? And it kind of reminds me of when I got my last job with Sonova. I got the job through a friend of mine, and he was like the one of the junior vice presidents of the company, and it was a very large, it was on the stock market, big company, right? Sonova, by the way, which is now bankrupt, right? Which, by the way, I went to look it's at their competitors, one of the competitors, another finance company, Mosaic. And I was like, oh, why don't they have, like, almost every website has like a career section on it, right? I was looking for the career. I'm like, there's no career section on this. And then I realized they went bankrupt too. Holy mackerel, man. The solar business is, they always call it the solar coaster. But there's a lot of, really, your first boyfriend at 19. Wow. So, that's like me, by the way. I didn't have my first. why am I making this comparison? But whatever. I didn't have my first sip of alcohol until I was 22. No, that's not true. Until I was 20. Um, and and then yeah, on my birthday, on my 21st birthday, is when they got me a quarter keg of Goldschlager back in the day. Dating myself with my alcohol preferences. Hello, people of TikTok. We're just doing morning matters here. So yeah, so uh first girlfriend at 7, that's good. She was 6. Oh, you're robbing the cradle. Um so where was I? Oh, so yeah, so I couldn't understand these companies were not getting back to me. Nobody, it was like nothing. It was, and I got to the point where like I was like, I need something, and I took the job I currently have. I took because I was like, I can't not. It wasn't like I was like, oh, this is it. Like selling. Like at first I thought it was going to be it because it was like educational technology products, right? And I was like, educational technology to me that meant like learning stuff, like and it was like working with schools. I was like, yeah, because I worked with Kaplan, which was like I was one of their marketing directors, which was basically they would go into I would do lectures for students and teach them things and then try to get them to sign up for courses to to prep for the SATs or the ACTs, right? That was like educational products to me. I thought it was something along those lines, but it's really just the light bulbs that go into like the Epson, like the projectors, which not even most people are even moving away from now because they all have like screens that they can do this on. They have like a smart board or whatever where it's like a TV screen. So the projectors are kind of going away, but we're selling to like places like West Virginia and Kansas and places that aren't upgrading their schools as much. So there's still business, but it's declining. And now they've got into like Chromebook parts. So I didn't think I was like selling like the keyboards of a Chromebook and light bulbs for a projector. It wasn't what. Now I obviously went on the interview and I saw the place and I understood what it was after the interview. But I accept the job. It's a good paying job. The owner is awesome. I can, and it's just I was like, I just need something. I can't continue to do nothing, right? And also I watched this video of a career person who was like, no matter what, you accept. If somebody offers you a position, you accept the job, and then if you find something else, then you can always leave. But you don't tell them, oh well, I'm considering a bunch of different offers. Thank you for that. They're going to immediately take the offer off the table, right? So I accepted the job, and but and I haven't really like I wasn't like officially even looking anymore. My buddy, a friend of mine who was my old boss, got a position with one of my competitors, and it was a position that I kind of wanted. And he was like, hey, he was just basically actually saying, hey, I just got this job with Palmetto, which is which is Lightreach, which is a solar finance company. And I was like, oh, hey, could you put my word in and put a good word for me in a resume? He's like, yeah, sure, send me a resume. So that was like the most I was doing looking. And then another friend of mine called me, and he just called me on like Monday and was like, hey, what are you doing now? And I was like, oh, here's what I'm doing. He's like, well, they're looking for someone at this place. So I was like, all right, well, let them know. Right. So now these opportunities are coming. And then yesterday I went on my LinkedIn, and where I couldn't get like one part, like I was literally like just DMing people directly. Like I was serious about trying to find a position. Like I wasn't like dilly-dallying around and sending out a couple of resumes. Like I was literally writing cover letters for each position. I was, doing the AI stuff. I was like finding people on LinkedIn, direct messaging them. So then yesterday I get two, one's like a recruiter, but they said they have like, a couple of executive jobs that they thought would be a good spot for me. And then one place got back to me. It was like a roofing company, and they were like, me to do an operations manager type of thing. And I'm like, where were all you people 2, 3, 4, 5 months ago while I was, when I was sending out resumes every single day? But it's interesting. There's a when I was oh, there are the birds. Must be a little bit of light outside. There is. I wish you can hear them, but they're screaming. They're screaming outside. I actually yesterday I got because the birds congregate like in these bushes. I have like a whole bunch of bushes right in front of my window here, and they congregate in the morning and then they congregate in the evening. They do basically morning matters. They do morning matters. They're screaming at each other right now, and then when I come home from work right at like dusk, they do their day of birding, and then they all yell about it. They all communicate about their day. So yesterday I took my camera. I was trying to get the video of them, but as soon as I walk up to the bush, they all stop because it's like predator. I'm the predator, I guess. They don't trust me, and so they all be quiet. So I couldn't really get them. I'm gonna try to get them. I gotta like put the phone out there or the microphone out there and then walk away so you guys can all hear the birds. But where was I? So yeah, so like basically all these job opportunities are now being thrown at me, and I'm appreciative of it, and I'm still going to entertain them because as much as I mean, it's like staff and upgrade, and the only thing bad is I like the guy who runs this business. I just don't, and I don't, and I'm 49, like I can't waste like 3 years in the wrong spot. I'm getting to the point where I can't keep bouncing around. I got to find something that I really want to do and stick with. Now, what I really want to do is not work at all and do video and podcasting and whatnot. That's the ultimate goal. But yeah, it takes a little bit of time to build up an audience to the point where you can. I actually was watching. There was a girl on TikTok live yesterday, and I was being cynical, but whatever. And she was like, "Oh, she's like, in my first month I made $50,000, doing TikTok, but it's really hard. You got to do it like every day and blah blah blah." I'm like, and she's like, "Yeah, and this and that. It's a really tough business." I'm like, "Yeah, really tough. Like, yeah, you made 50 grand your first month, and you've made more since then." Now, she has some bodily assets that I don't have. So I'm like, yeah, it must be really hard. So you tend to yeah, you like that phrase, bodily assets. I'm gonna have to coin that. Working that'd be a good let me write that down for a t-shirt. Working on acquiring my bodily assets. Bodily assets accumulating. So anyway, rambling as usual. It's like, oh, my goals are done now. I gotta go. So anyway, point being is I'm be excited to I was watching some Alex Horsmel and some Gary V. They keep popping up on my algorithm. The algorithm is like, hey, this is not what you want to do. This is what you want to do. Focus on what you want to do. Make sure you're doing your podcasting and whatnot. I actually got a guest for Cosmic Matters on Sunday. However, and I love her if she's watching. I love her even if she's not watching, if she never sees it. But she knows this. She is the most flighty person ever. So even though she said yes, I can't. I have about a 10 to 20% chance that she will show up for Cosmic Matters. So I'm just gonna look for a second guest. I can actually have two people on stage. So this person missed their own birthday party. Let's just put it that way. Like, and then they set it up. They rented out a bar, and then didn't show up to the birthday party for herself. Right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Not not the most reliable. She's a great person, and it's fun to hang out with, and she's awesome. But you never know. So point being is I may have a guest for Cosmic Matters this Sunday. I'm excited for Cosmic Matters. I've done a lot of good research for this one. It's going to be about size matters, precise perspectives of size in the universe. It's always an interesting thing to kind of put into like understanding like how big and how much space is really out there, and it really helps ground you when you start thinking about it, not to make you feel small, but to ground your because a lot of times when we get into our own lives, we have this bubble, and we just see all, and it's like if you look at the bubble and you just saw all your own problems. We just see our problems, right? Our daily lives, our daily activities. Oh, Midwest, I can never say mid Midwest. Why can't I say Midwest? I always put a th in there. Midwest atheist. Although I guess you're just Midwest now. Thanks for joining me on Stereo. This is Morning Matters. We do this every morning, 6:30 to 7. We start our day in the right way, talk about our goals, and then I jibber jabber for a little bit, and then I get my day moving. So, but I was talking about Cosmic Matter. So on Sundays, it was a good segue. Sundays on right now, I'm on YouTube and on TikTok, Philosophy Man 76. Sundays we do Cosmic Matters. This will be episode 10. So we've been doing it every Sunday for 10 weeks already. So it's amazing how that flies. You can also check out the past ones on Spotify. I actually have to upload number 9. I'll do that actually as soon as we wrap this up. And we're going to be talking about, again, size matters, right? I guess I might call it that, or cosmic perspective. Well, we talk about philosophy and mix it with some science. That's what Cosmic Matters is about, just taking the cosmos and applying it to our everyday lives. So when you look at the actual size, and when we start to try to even try to put into perspective, because we say words like eternity and forever, and we throw those words around, and we don't really understand what we're talking about. Like, to understand what eternity is, what forever is, right? I always use the same the same analogy or the same perspective. You'll hear it if you turn into Cosmic Matters, but I'll say it here. It's like millions and billions and trillions, right? You are eternal, Maya Gio. I believe that. I believe we're all eternal. Midwest was part of one of my favorite stereo shows, where I was driving to New Jersey, and we were talking about consciousness, and I was trying to introduce the concept of rocks being conscious. And what I love about Midwest is he was open. He didn't accept it, but he was open to listening. And that's all you ask, right? That's all we really want, is just be open to listening. Like, I listen to my far right, my far left people. I listen to everyone. My favorite phrase when I was doing my TikTok videos is, well, it was at first, I don't care what you believe, but I just care about why you believe it. And I thought that was a little negative. So I changed it to, I care what you believe, but I'm interested in what you believe, but I'm more interested in why you believe it. Right. So if you believe something just because, grandma said it, then that's not as good as a reason as I believe in it because here's all scientific evidence and and data and this, and here's all the reasons why. Right. So the reasons why are more important than what it is you actually believe. And then if it's a good enough reasons, then I will adopt that belief as well. But if they're poor reasons, then yeah, definitely on a tangent. I ran out of air. Back to what I was saying. I was talking about consciousness, rocks, and then I was talking about Cosmic Matters. Oh, eternity. All right, we'll wrap up with that one. So millions and billions and trillions. Like, we say these words. I wish we came up with different words, like more complex words for those things. And actually, one of the things I'm going to do on Cosmic Matters, actually, I have the notes, I think, right in my background. Yeah. But so, for example, if you wanted to count to, I do this every week. So if you've seen Cosmic Matters, you've heard this before. But if you want to count to 1,000,000 seconds, it would take you 11 days. So 11 days to count to 1,000,000. If you wanted to count to 1,000,000,000 seconds, now just 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000 sounds the same. It's like, oh, the 1%, the millionaires and the billionaires. We just put those things together because the words sound the same. But if you wanted to count to 1,000,000, it's 11 days. If you wanted to count to 1,000,000,000, it's 31 years. Right? So millions and billions are not anywhere close to each other at all. So 11 days, by the way, when I say 11 days, I mean like not eating, sleeping, drinking, doing anything else other than just counting every single second. Now you take a baby gets born, and you go, oh, the baby was born 1, 2, 3, 4. You would just have to count until they turn 31, when they have their own, they might even have their own kids and a life. They've gone through college, and finally at 31st birthday, you're like, 1 billion, happy birthday, right? That's a billion seconds versus a million seconds, right? So the millionaires and the billionaires are not close to each other, right? And not even, it's a factor of 10, right? It's a factor, it's a factor of 1,000, right? So that's the point. Now you talk about trillion, right? Like Elon Musk will become the first trillionaire. What is a trillion? Well, a trillion is 3 more zeros, right? So it's going to take you 31,000 years to count to a trillion, right? 15 times longer than the current calendar. So from Christ to today, 15 times over is how long you have to count to get to a trillion. So when people say million, billion, trillion, these concepts are like, our mind isn't designed. And by the way, in space, trillion is nothing. Trillions are used all the time. One of the things I say, like, I again, we're going to talk about this on Sunday. But in space, they use, like, after a trillion. Does anyone know what happens after a trillion? It's called a quadrillion, and then a quintillion, and then a sextillion, and then a septillion, then an octillion, then a nonillion, which is a 10 with 30 zeros at the end of it. So those are the types of things we talk about space. Like, I talk about, like, light, how fast light goes. Like, we say things are light years. Like, the closest star to our star is 4 light years away. And so when we say 4 light years away, we go, oh, okay, well, it's pretty close. It's only 4. So, but then I remember I woke up one day and I said, how far is a light year? How many miles does the light actually travel in a year? And so I looked it up, and it's 5.8 trillion miles. 5.8 trillion miles is how far light goes in a year. Trillion, right? The 31,000 seconds. So if it goes 5.8, well, I say 5.8 trillion. It's like, I should say 5 trillion 880 billion miles, right? So the point being is, so now you got to take the 5.8 trillion miles and times it by the 4 light years. So now you're talking about it. It's like, and by the way, it's like 4.6 something light years away, right? So it's close to 25 trillion miles away to the next star, just the next one. And there's lots and lots and lots of stars out there that are much, much, much further away. So, do I like Alice in Wonderland? Sure, I guess. I don't dislike Alice in Wonderland. Going down the rabbit hole, right? So, the Jabberwocky actually used to scare me when I was a kid. Somehow I got my hands on, like, the real Alice in Wonderland, and it's a lot more dark than the Disney story of Alice in Wonderland, right? So anyway, all right, I've been babbling for a while. The birds are noisy. They are saying, let's get going. I have the book, well, I don't know, scarier for sure. Book is always better. By the way, the book is always better for a reason, because in the book you make up the characters, right? You make up the way everything looks, it's personalized. A book is, the words create pictures in your head, and then you personalize it, and that's how it is. So whenever you see someone else's depiction of it, it's always going to be worse. And plus, obviously, if you're making a movie, you can't go into as much detail as a book does. But yeah, that's why books are always better than the movie, because it's your personal movie in your head. Yeah. All right, I got squats and push-ups to do. I didn't do them before. I wanted to start. I made sure I started on time today, so I held off on the push-ups and the setups until now. Yeah, they did. Through the looking glass is good too, right? All right, it is 7:09. It's time to wrap up Morning Matters. I hope all of you have a great day. I hope to see you on Cosmic Matters. I am Still working on This Matters. Actually, what I'm going to do after this is I'm going to do a video about Tesla's earnings yesterday. I want to do This Matters. I just haven't had a chance to. Between job, mom, health, all this other stuff going on, I haven't gotten to start the This Matters podcast. I keep saying I'm going to start it, but I just haven't gotten there. But This Matters will be on different matters, and especially Tesla. So I'm going to make a Tesla video as soon as we're done here. I'm going to try to make a short Tesla video every day on my lunch break or whatnot, just like an actual short, like a 3-minute video. I get back to that. But yeah, thank you, Maya Gio and Renee, for being here. Thank you for Midwest for being here. It's on here now. Thank you for the TikTok live audience for stopping in. And I hope you have an amazing Wednesday, October 23rd. And you have a great day. And I will be back here. It's not Wednesday. I hope you have a great Thursday. It's Thursday already. That's so good. But anyway, yes, enjoy. Have a great day. My mind's already wiped out. And I will see you all tomorrow for Morning Matters.